Okay, so I am really excited because this is my very first time being able to go live over here on this channel. So I was actually just trying something. I didn't know that I was going to be able to do this, but since I am, I definitely wanted to come specifically to this channel to kind of have this discussion. So before I get started, I want to do a shameless plug. We have our journal here. It is the Boss Up Babe and Launch Journal. This is the idea book. And so in this one, I write all types of ideas and stuff down in this particular book. I do a lot of my manifestation scripting writing in this book, but I like journaling, so I have a couple different journals for that. But this is available on my website, bossupbabelaunch.bigcartel.com, and it is available now for purchase. So anyway, you guys, I was watching an Instagram live, and I was speaking with the woman who was hosting it, and we were just talking about a lot of different things, but then the conversation about men came up, and she saw a post on my Instagram page. It was either before Father's Day or on Father's Day. And I said, my boyfriend, he was laying on my chest and he had climbed up there, and he loves laying on my chest. So first of all, I feel like this is what kind of struck my mind to just thinking. It turned my wheels. I've been noticing for a long time, and this is not to be shady or anything. This is actually, I don't even know how to say it. Like, I feel like I'm coming from a very nurturing space, okay? So at one time I used to come from a hateful space, but that was before I began to understand how similar men and women actually are. But I digress. So it is my understanding that men are some of the biggest babies, right? Ladies can be as well. Like, this is a human thing. It's not even about gender, but because a lot of times it is said that women are more emotional, right? Women are more girly and they're more into their feelings, which is not totally, it's not a complete lie, but it's not all the way factual either. This is the reason why I feel like there's this big conversation about it all. And men, to hear the word feminine connected and associated with men, men tend to get all up in arms about it. They're pissed, they get angry. And I used to wonder why they would get mad, but I understand now why they do that. I think it's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of ignorance that causes them to become angry. Because when you hear the word masculine and when you hear the word feminine, it has been automatically associated. Masculine is automatically associated with the man, and feminine is already associated with women. Hands down. People, until they start to study for themselves these concepts, they don't even understand that masculine energy and feminine energy don't got nothing to do with gender, but it is merely energy. And those who begin to study, whether it's through books that you study or even if it's through you studying people and human behaviors, maybe even astrology, you begin to understand that, oh, okay, masculine and feminine energy is about the way that people express themselves, how they handle themselves. And it actually is attached to both sexes, both genders. A man has both masculine and feminine qualities within him, period. A lot of times now, though, what we have witnessed in ages before us in times past, there were a lot of men who were, I don't want to say a lot because I don't know, I wasn't back there, but based upon, stories and accounts that I've heard about or that I've read about or that I've seen repeating time and time again, in our present time, and you look back in history and you can see it happening there, it has become painfully clear that men, and maybe even women alike, have disrespected and ignorantly suppressed feminine energy. And it's heavy in men that it is suppressed. Like, people teach men that it's not okay for them to show their emotions, to talk about the way that they feel. And I mean, really get in there and talk about it. I mean, really sit with themselves and really be able to figure out, oh, this is how I'm feeling and this is why. Like, men have been told that that's not their thing. That's not what they're supposed to do. That is such a lie. Don't even know who came up with that goddamn concept. And it makes me angry because I feel like, because the feminine has been suppressed within men, men have turned around and began to suppress those who operate a lot of times in feminine energy because they don't understand it. And because they've been taught, hey, that's not what we do. When feminine energy has stuff to do with wisdom, it has everything to do with self-evaluation and self-reflection, compassion. It deals with being able to go with the flow of things. So here's a flip side that I've seen and that I've observed. So there's a generation of men that want nothing to do with feminine energy that they already possess. It's just been it's been very suppressed within them. But they also get upset and angry at anybody who expresses feminine energy because, I mean, they have been told and pretty much trained not to fuck with it. On the other end, there is a whole generation of men who, even though they believe that they are masculine or operating in their masculine energy, by internalizing their feelings, they are actually, in fact, in their feminine energy. Why do I say that? Because feminine energy internalizes. Feminine energy goes within self, quietly, brooding, exploring thoughts and feelings within itself. Excuse me. So there are a lot of men who are actually operating in their feminine energy thinking they're being masculine, and they're not, because masculine energy expresses itself. Masculine energy is decisive. Masculine energy is assertive. In order to be assertive, you actually have to know what it is that you're dealing with. You have to know what it is that you want. You have to know what it is the outcome you're wanting to achieve. And assertiveness is not about being rude or arrogant. It's just, you know what you're talking about, or you know what you want. You know what you want to say, so you're able to completely say that. That has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. And I mean that in the way of, there are women who are in masculine energy, and there's nothing wrong with them being in their masculine energy. Unless, of course, it's like overly masculine and there is no balance. That's where there could be an issue. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with a woman being in masculine energy. I think that people tend to forget, and I'm going to get off of here because I didn't want this to be really long and drawn out. I just wanted to come and really talk about this again, because a lot of men are thinking that they're masculine and really they're feminine men. And it's not even bad. It's not something to shy away from. It's not something to be ashamed of. There are people who are, and I'm going to speak about this. There are men who are feminine, and it is because they are in some way they're dominated by an astrological sign that is in fact feminine. So naturally, it makes them more quiet. It makes them more introspective. It makes them more of a person who is agreeable, mutable, able to adapt more easily to change. It doesn't make them any less of a man. Doesn't mean that, oh, all of a sudden now I'm attracted to men because I'm in my feminine energy. Or it doesn't mean all of a sudden I don't have any masculine traits. Okay? So I would encourage people to really start to look into, and this is specifically for men, because here's the thing. I was just talking to myself in the mirror, and I was over here like, here I was thinking that, well, first, the first epiphany that hit me is that many men have actually, they're actually in their stronger feminine energy than they know. And more women are in their masculine energy than maybe aware. And it is possible that it's always been this way, and that the world somehow has turned this information upside down. Women are more protective. Women are natural providers. Not to say that there are not men out here that are like that. Ooh, I'm getting a download. So, what am I trying to say with you guys? Basically, this was the epiphany that came to me. This was the epiphany that came to me that women are actually more in their masculine energy, and there's nothing wrong with it, and men are in their feminine energy. And I was like, what if it's been reversed? The roles have been reversed, and that men have always really been the more feminine version of the more feminine, and the ladies are the masculines. It's just a possibility. It's just a thought. It's just a concept to consider. Of course, times have changed things, and maybe it could be just that. I see a mother and nurturing and breastfeeding and or just being sure that your child and children and husband eat. I see that as provision as well. Whereas there are many people who have been led to believe that going to work, bringing home, money, that's the only type of provision that exists, and it's not the truth. So I just wanted to come and talk about some more things. And I was in the mirror after that epiphany hit me, that what if it's the men who are actually the feminine and the women who are actually masculine? And I just meant that women are able to express and articulate their emotions and their feelings very, very well. But I also feel like that could come from societal conditioning and from training. Like, women got taught that it was okay to express that version of themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. There are girls who were taught, don't cry, big girls don't cry. So, I mean, even that's a lie. But I think that any man who may come across this replay or this live, you will agree with me when I say that it is more widely and socially acceptable for a woman to say, hey, this is how you made me feel. Like, it's socially acceptable that women would even sit there and think about their feelings. You understand what I'm trying to say? Whereas when it comes to men, in contrast, men are often told that their feelings don't matter, or they're told, hold that in, So now, what I'm saying is the more expressive, able to clearly articulate and decide how they're feeling, which is all masculine energy, decisiveness, expression, reason, to be able to clearly articulate that is masculine energy at work. And so women are the ones now who are able to do that with really like little to no shame. Don't get me wrong. I know that there are major ass exceptions. I'm just talking about on a grander scale. It is socially acceptable for women to talk about their feelings and to say, this is how I feel, or I don't know how I'm feeling, but this is what's going on. It's okay. For men are told to either be quiet, or they're dismissed, or from a very early age, they're told that they can't express pain, hurt, even excitement and joy. Like, all of that expressing is considered feminine. And that is just like weird to me, because I have learned that feminine energy is very introspective, very neurotic, or can be neurotic. Let me say it like that. So then when I bring this to my observations of men and women every day, I'm like, wow, men are the ones who internalize a lot of stuff. They internalize things until it builds up, until they explode a lot of times. Then they vomit, over everyone, or they bleed over everyone. They erupt over people because they've been having feelings, because feelings is natural. Feelings is a God-given intellect of its own. So then this explosion happens. Sometimes they never express how they feel. They just do some crazy stuff. They harm themselves or they harm other people. And then that's how you know that some shit wasn't ever right. Long story short, this is the reason why I felt the need to have this conversation. I just want to encourage people to really look into what feminine energy represents. And when I say people, I'm talking about men. I want men to become okay with looking up stuff, researching. They can prepare and go to college, and this is for everyone. But I'm talking to men right now because that's what I was trying to say, y'all, before I got off on a tangent. I was thinking that my stuff is for women, and I'm not going to say that it's not. But over here on this channel, ever since there was this one video, there have been more men flocking to this channel than ever before. More men are subscribing to this channel. And I was like, what if that's a good thing? Because what I do know, astrologically speaking, is that I am a mercurial Cancer, which means that the way that I communicate, it's like that of a nurturing mother. I deal with issues that are surrounding the feminine principle as well as women's issues. But feminine energy is not just for women. Feminine energy touches everybody because everyone has both masculine and feminine energy. So my job is to speak to the feminine energy within all beings. And right now, if you ask me, there are a lot more men in their feminine energy, and it's not even always the best feminine energy. It's the so-called toxic feminine energy that some of our men are in. And I only call it toxic because like when I say that they internalize a lot of things and they hold it in and then they explode upon people, that's a toxic behavior. Because we should be able to then toggle in between our masculine and feminine energy as it is necessary, when it is appropriate. Expression is masculine. So you're supposed to, in your feminine energy, go within to evaluate self, to figure things out, to explore what's going on within the depths of your soul. But then there is a time that you are supposed to come out in your masculine energy and express those findings. If the internalization, if after you go inside, you realize you've been allowing things that you should not between different relationships or people, that means you're supposed to, in your masculine energy, become assertive. Speak up for what you know is not okay and it's not appropriate for you anymore. We're supposed to use both of them. They're supposed to be married within us. So if you're suppressing your feminine energy as a man, you're not even getting your whole full experience. You're not even at your fullest potential. You're not even at your best. Vice versa. If there's a woman who is maybe more into her feminine energy and she is not expressing her masculine energy, she also is not at her best. Anyone where there is more than the other and there is no desire, or there is no nurturing of the other aspect, yeah, that's not okay. There is imbalance there. So my encouragement to the men who may come across this particular video, if you take nothing else from this video, one, I want you not to be offended by what I'm saying. I want you to understand that I'm coming from the most loving, compassionate place right now. If you are, in fact, not in touch with your feminine energy in a healthy way, I implore you to look up what feminine energy is. up the feminine energy traits, and you will find that it has nothing to do with just what women would do. Although you may find that, yes, this is more associated heavily with women, it is not something that only women possess. You may find that you have many of those qualities within yourself. Guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. So I need you to understand that. And next, I want you to nurture those things in yourself. If you've been suppressing them because you have believed the lie that that is for women only, if you've believed that you're not supposed to know how you feel and be able to express that, please leave that alone. Leave that shit alone. Because I can guarantee you that maybe, just maybe, a lot of the relationships, if you even desire to be in one, it is very possible that some of us can't experience the type of relationships that we're meant to because our masculine and feminine energy, there's either one that's more than the other. So one is suppressed, the other one is stronger. Whichever is suppressed is not getting the respect. It's not receiving the acknowledgement that it so desperately desires and it needs. It deserves it. There are men right now who don't love, they don't care about their mothers, or there's a hatred or a disdain for their mothers because their mothers thought that if they had a brood of male children, that they were meant to be very hard on them. They did not nurture them the way that they truly desired to be nurtured. And so now there's a love-hate relationship when it comes to women, period, where there are men who absolutely, they feel like they want to be with the woman, but they actually can't stand women because they don't like their mom, because they can't stand how hard their mom was upon them. Why didn't you give me some nurturing? Why didn't you allow me to lay on your breast? Why didn't you allow me to nestle and suckle at your breast? Why didn't you hold me when I felt like I needed you to hold me? When I was hurting, when I was scared? Some people's parents, some men's parents, mom, literally left them to have to figure out stuff by themselves. So now they have women that they are both attracted to, but they have a disdain for, and they can't quite get close to them, but they want them to nurture them. They want them to mother them. But they don't even know how to accept that, really, because like they didn't get it. No, ma'am, get off my desk. What did mommy say? No. No, no. Come here. Ooh, no, ma'am, don't pull the ring light, baby. Hold on. I know you're sleeping. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You sleepy? You sleepy? You sleepy? Okay. I just want to say that there are men who I'm aware you want to be able to just be held. Truly. You don't even want to move. You want to just be able to be loved upon and held just because you want to feel safe. You want to feel protected. That's your feminine energy, and you have every right to have that desire, and you have every right to actually feel that way. And if you are a man who is interested in women, there are women who are in their masculine energy or in their mothering energy who will absolutely be able to do that for you. But do you know that you guys are going to have to share that part of yourself? You're going to have to acknowledge that that's what you need. Okay, baby, mommy gonna give you some tete. So guys, I'm gonna stop here. If you guys could identify with anything that I talked about in this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to comment as well, especially to the men. Because I'm beginning to feel like my channel, I know it's not just a man thing, but I'm beginning to feel like there's a possibility that I'm meant to speak to the feminine energy within you, so that you can know that there's nothing wrong with you operating in that. Except for if you are imbalanced. That's the only thing. And there's a lot of men who are absolutely imbalanced with the way that, because they mistreat women who they associate with feminine energy because they are not yet in tune and in touch with their own feminine energy. I would even venture to say that the ladies that may rub you the wrong way the most may very well be they may exert the type of feminine energy that you yourself possess within you, that you've been suppressing. So without further ado, I'm going to end this particular conversation. This is probably going to be another Blonde Moments with Judé. And yeah, we were talking about the whole concept of women being masculine and men being feminine. I love you with the love of the Most High. I'm getting ready to log off, you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you want to continue this conversation, we can definitely have it again. Just let me know. I'm going to end it now. Peace, love, light, and darkness, which all work together to bring balance and harmony first within ourselves and then within our world. If you're new, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you will not miss whenever I am led to go live. Bye, guys.